Welcome back to Jersey Matters. We continue our conversation now with New Jersey Senator Declan O'Scanlon. Let's talk a little bit about the politics in Trenton because it's fascinating right now. There seems to be bad blood, and it depends on who you talk to, how serious it is, between the governor and the Senate president. Do you feel that?
Let's be honest, it's unmistakable that there's some tension between the two, and maybe plenty of reason for it. For me, from policy perspective, I think that it's good that there's some tension. They get along, though. I think that they're two pretty reasonable guys. I think we don't, the jury's still out on our governor. I'm hoping that he's going to be the clear-thinking man he was when he did hit the report that he prepared for then acting Governor Cody about our pension system. Those realities are still there. I'm hoping he'll step up. I'm hoping his commitments that he's made to unions, that he'll be able to still do the right thing and move some of these policies forward that have to happen if he wants to have a successful governorship over the next.
A couple of things that we were told were going to happen in the first 100 days are not happening. They seem to be even off the table. Legalized marijuana, people aren't even talking about it anymore. It was supposed to happen almost right away.
Yeah, there's an indication here that they need to do some things better in how they're working with the legislature. There's a learning curve there. I give them cut them some slack. But yeah, they've paid the price on that issue. His millionaires tax idea has stalled.
Shelved for the time being. You're smiling every time I say this. So the Republicans must look at this thinking they were just going to be overwhelmed because the Democrats had such a majority and they ran the Senate, the Assembly, and the governor's mansion. Now there's this infighting. So does it give you a little bit more power?
It sure gives us an opening to have more say. I've gotten more calls from Democrats in the legislature to work with them on bills in the past 6 months than I got in the previous 6 years. So I'll take it. But I won't. I never conceded the fact that some folks suggest that we'd be irrelevant. We're not irrelevant. We're out here. We're talking to you. We're making policy positions. We're stopping some bad things from happening, as I mentioned in the previous segment. Look, you gotta work harder to have the voice and to have the influence that we're elected to go and try to have. And I think I'm doing that pretty effectively, and so are other Republicans. So we're not irrelevant. We're going to be here, and the pendulum's always swinging in politics. And we'll earn more power as we go forward, or they'll completely fail. The Murphy administration will fail like Corzine did, and we'll sweep to power then, and we'll deserve it. I don't necessarily want that to happen. I'd rather we get good policy now working with Democrats than keep all the power. I don't care.
Well, before we leave, we have a minute left, and I know you're a fan and a friend of Governor Chris Christie. But he left with the lowest approval rating of any governor in New Jersey history. In your opinion, did he get a bad rap?
I think that history will reflect that the reforms we got done during the Christie administration were stunning reforms, actually. We led the country in pension reforms and in health benefit reforms. And in the 2% tax cap, and then the tools to let municipalities and school boards operate within that 2% tax cap, they were dramatic reforms. I don't think he gets enough credit for spearheading those things. And those things would not have happened had he not beaten John Corzine. We could have been insolvent because Corzine proved he did not have the backbone to get those things done, or dramatic billions of dollars of additional tax increases would have happened. Governor Christie's administration, the people he surrounded himself with that I got to work with on policy, it was really an amazing time in New Jersey that I thought I may never have in a long career. So it was really very interesting, and he deserves a lot of the credit for that. If we didn't do those things, if we didn't cap property taxes, the arbitration award cap, which needs to come back, Democrats have irresponsibly let that slide. We'll go back to the dramatic tax increases we had before. But had property taxes continued at the rate they were continuing on in the previous 10 years before Governor Christie took office, and they were scheduled to do so, by the way, but for our reforms, your property taxes today would be 25%.
And by the way, when
higher.
I interviewed Sweeney a couple of weeks ago, he said he wishes would have had the cap at 0%. And maybe you can work with him on that now.
Well, then he needs to man up about the arbitration award cap, because you can't have property tax caps unless you have arbitration award caps. They're just mutually incompatible. And it's on his desk. He can move the arbitration award cap, and he needs to do it. if he wants to even maintain the 2% property tax cap, that will be exploded over time if we don't also give municipalities the tools, like the arbitration.
He says he's going to wait to see. He's going to wait to see if it's abused.
That is not a fair answer. That either he's punting, he understands the policy and is punting, or he doesn't get the policy. He's a good friend. He's smart enough to understand these things. I will hold him accountable for understanding it. He can't. That is a completely mathematically incompatible position. I won't let him get away with it.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Larry.
Appreciate you being here. Senator Declan O'Scanlon. Coming up, April brings a new crackdown on texting and driving. We'll tell you about it next on Jersey Matters.